If you can just bear with us, we're expecting one more person who's making his way and we'll get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Martha Ramos, and I'm the Chief of Police of the DeKalb County Police Department. We're here today just to announce that we have made an arrest in the April 9th shooting of 11-year-old Damari Johnson. Damari Johnson was shot at the Golden Glide skating rink on April 9th. It took us several days to get a potential suspect, and it took us a few more days to solidify our case enough to make sure that we had an arrest warrant. On April 19th, we were able to secure an arrest warrant, which we handed over to the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office for execution. On today at 8 a.m., the Sheriff's Office was able to apprehend the suspect, 13-year-old male who shall remain unnamed at this time, and he was taken into custody and brought here to headquarters where he is currently being interviewed. At this time, we don't know a motive, we don't have any further information, but we do have the suspect in custody. And while I like to say that it is a great day, I'm actually kind of saddened by the fact that we have an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old whose lives and their families will never be the same. We would like to thank Sheriff Maddox and her team, her fugitive apprehension unit, for going out this morning. But not only this morning, they've been working diligently hand in hand with our homicide assault unit, who is on this side, who we have to give them credit for working day and night since the moment this happened to identify the suspect. And they've been working together to make sure that we were able to make this arrest today. So I want to thank Sheriff Maddox and her team for that assistance. I also want to emphasize that this was really truly a multi-jurisdictional, multi-agency coordination. Since the beginning that this happened, CEO Michael Thurman worked together and brought in several agencies. And I have a list because I want to make sure that I don't forget them. But we had code compliance, planning and development, the fire marshal, the county law department, as well as the Board of Health. They wanted to make sure that the skating rink was working up to par. We wanted to make sure that we can make that and DeKalb County a safe place for our children and for our communities to live, to play, and to feel safe. And so at this time, I'd like to pass it over to Sheriff Maddox, Melody Maddox, in case she wants to say a few words.
Thank you. Good morning, Sheriff Melody Maddox of the DeKalb County Sheriff Office. Thank you, Chief Ramos. And as we said, it's a sad day. It's a sad day because 2 lives are actually gone at this point. But I want to personally thank Chief Ramos and her team, the DeKalb County Police Department, all the investigators that were involved who spent countless of hours making sure that this individual was brought into custody. I also like to thank the DeKalb County Sheriff Office, the fugitive unit, and all the employees that had a hand in this. But as you can see, this is not a one county event. This is a multi-jurisdictional, and as she said, all of us come together as one to make sure that where you live, work, and play is safe. And we want to make sure that we continue this relationship as we move forward with other events that take place in DeKalb County to make sure that all are safe. So once again, thank you to everyone that had a hand in this. We greatly appreciate everybody coming to the table and pulling their heads, resources that were necessary to bring this individual into custody. Unfortunately, it is a juvenile, and it is really just a sad day, and it really breaks my heart to actually to know that one life is fighting and then another life is actually gone. So again, thank you so much to everybody that had a hand in this. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, because I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the community for coming forward with so many tips. Without them, this would not have been made possible. So I apologize, a lot of people to thank. Everyone comes to the police department, but realistically, it takes all of us to make a difference. And the community really, really showed up with tips and information that really helped us close this case. Are there any questions before we...
Can you speak anything about the circumstances surrounding the shooting? Was there a fight? Was there an argument? What led up to this?
Unfortunately, the interview is actually currently being conducted, so we don't want to speculate. We are trying to get to the bottom of it, but we just don't have all of those details at this time.
So you don't know if the 11-year-old is targeted?
At this time, we do not.
Can you share any information about the weapon used or where the child possibly got that weapon?
We don't have any of that information at this time. As I said, currently at this moment, as we're standing here before you, we have investigators upstairs conducting an interview with the 13-year-old to see if we can get additional details. We just felt that it was important because we knew the community was worried and concerned, and we wanted to make sure that we got this information out as soon as possible.
What time was the child picked up?
At 8 a.m. this morning.
Chief, people are going to see this and you're 13 years old. I mean, they're going to ask, where are these parents? Why are these kids out there? I mean, what can you say to those people who are going to hear this 13-year-old and wonder these questions and wonder what led up to this?
You know, I don't want to lay blame, and I don't want to speak for the parents. We don't know the circumstances as to where they were, why the children were there. We do just ask for the community to work together, work with your children. Let's work together to keep DeKalb County safe.
Can you speak a little more about how you built your case? This was an 11-year-old victim, 13-year-old suspect. Presumably you're speaking to children. Did you have help from parents as well?
We built the case very carefully, and we generally do not interview children without their parents. The parents were very accommodating. They brought the witnesses in, and carefully they built the case, which is why it took a little bit longer than the public would have wanted. However, we need to build strong cases to make sure before we make an arrest of a 13-year-old, we need to make sure that we have probable cause and that we have strong cases that can withstand scrutiny.
The 11-year-old's family wanted Golden Glide closed. I believe you all had some inspectors out. What did they find? Were there any violations at all in the business?
As it relates to that, I will pass it over to Tim Hardy, where he led the team yesterday, and he can elaborate on that.
Good morning, everyone. Timothy Hardy, I'm the Deputy Director for Code Compliance for DeKalb County. Just want to talk a little bit about the property and the conditions of the structure itself. A couple of my team members went out last night with fire and the health department just to look at the conditions of the property. One of the things we discovered prior to arriving is that the business owner had failed to renew his business license for the last year or two. We also found some electrical issues inside the property. There's some missing ceiling tiles. Those are all minor violations. 2 citations were issued, one for the failure to renew the business license, and there's a retaining wall in the rear of the property that's failing that we've determined is a life safety issue, and we issued citations for that as well. There's some flaking and peeling paint and some exterior walls that need some work too. But that's the gist of the violations that we found last night. I think the health department may have some other information, as well as the fire department.
So if you're operating without a business license, are you now closed?
No, ma'am. We issued a citation. They'll get their day in court. Only the court can actually close the business. So the court date set for May 3rd, if anybody's interested, and they'll get their chance to tell why they haven't renewed.
And I don't know if you or the chief could talk more about anything about the family's concerned about security there, or what was in place at the time of this incident. I don't know. If the chief,
Yeah, maybe the chief.
Was that an issue with security? They had issues. The family talking about security there. Do we know what was in place or what was?
We're currently planning on meeting with them. There are so many pieces of the puzzle that are in play. We will be meeting with them to make sure that they have enough security moving forward and to see where it went wrong the day of. Our focus right now has really been on the investigation and getting the suspect into custody, but we will work with the Golden Glide skating rink to make sure that they have enough security to keep people safe if they decide or choose to attend any events there.
From a law enforcement perspective, do you find any issue with large crowds of unsupervised children at this business late at night?
I don't want to come across judgmental, so I have no comment on that.
Okay, one more question.
Chief, the family was, when they wanted it closed down, said that there's a long history of violence at this establishment. Is there?
I will say that they have had several incidents over the last couple of years. We have not had any homicides there. We have not had any major incidents there. We are looking into that, and that is why you have a team that was put together to make sure that we cover all the angles, to make sure that if there's something that can be done, trust me, the county will do it.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys, and the guys I know they were in constant communication. They don't let them know so much for sure. This was important. Honestly, just some great message.
Yes, all day. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Logistically, what happens now with the suspect team? With the juvenile prosecutor?
Well, gentlemen, thank you. It's great. Great job. Great job. Thank you. And everything else, we can't do it. It's like one person is one person to follow behind. But it was good. I think our share support and just be one of